Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of VetsPlusSports.com. I'm Terrell Davis, also known as Cool Beans, and I'm along with my co host, Mr. James Miller.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everybody's doing good on this weekend. You're enjoying your weekend as we get ready to get in this episode here. But before we do, I'll let Cool Beans go ahead and give a shout out to our listeners.
All right, we like to thank those over there in Brussels, Belgium, for listening to us. Also, San Jose, California, Boardman, Washington, Ashburn, Virginia, and this other one, Grenweilen, Germany. Don't thank me. It was James that actually learned to
It's
pronounce the name.
Grand Zach Whelan. Grand
Ah,
Zach,
I still did it wrong.
yep, Grand Zach Whelan, Germany. So we're trying to get these pronunciations down, but we thank each and every one for listening. And I think we should jump right into something that just happened a couple days ago. Cool Beans, the NBA draft, and I'd say it was probably I'm not for sure. I ain't seen no statistics, but I'd say it's probably one of your most watched NBA drafts.
I would
Waiting to
say that.
waiting to see if Bronny James would go to LA, which he did, second round. But we'll get in onto that. And I actually watched round one uh, Wednesday and then round two Thursday. First time I ever watched the NBA draft. I mean, I never watch it. And usually in the NFL, if I watch it, I watch the first couple, first 10 picks, if that,
Right.
but don't watch it too much. But, you know, they did pick, LA did pick him up, the 55th pick of the second round. Um, but here's my thing, is watching that, and then you watch in the news media, they said all these teams passed on Bronny James. How they're going to wish they hadn't. Well, they was told by the Lakers organization not to draft him,
Yep.
and so these franchises was told not to draft him. So I mean, and they're like, well, they're going to. There's a mistake they passed on him, which only time will tell on down the road, which we'll see. But I don't think, to me, I don't think so. But we'll see what happens with that.
I think all those that passed on him, and it's just my prediction, all those that passed on him, y'all saved y'all's season next year. I don't think he's going to be all the hype that everybody. And it's not that him personally. Um, I put on Facebook on the website. I had put up a post. Somebody had put it up, and they were showing that because Bronny got drafted at 55, and the other guy from USC did not. Bronny averaged like 4 points per game, and
Yeah,
the other
four
guy,
point eight.
yeah, and the other guy's doing 16 and a half. The other guy had way better stats. He didn't even get drafted.
Yeah, I got that written down. And what everybody keeps bringing up. Yes, he last summer he had a cardiac arrest. Bronny James did. So you could see, starting the season out in the basketball and everything else, getting into it, that take a toll as far as fatigue and being tired and everything else. But I mean, really, to me, you figure you would step your game up, getting to the mid to the end of the season. Yeah, it's going to take you a little bit to get into and everything else. He only ended up with 121 points there at USC in 25 games. He played 25 games.
Hmm.
Um, Played 490 minutes. That's 19.6 minutes a game. So he played a half a game each game. Um, and then he had 50. The only thing, or I guess you could say it stood out. He had 53 assists, but he shot 36% from the field while he was there.
Right.
So to me, I mean, he went on the name alone. Um, and I can see why the NBA was wanting this because this is the first father son duo that's ever played together in the NBA.
Right. They set them the Lakers drafting them. They already set two records. first father and son combo. That was number one. And now they have as a duo when they took the father and son, because like Kobe Bryant's dad was in the NBA also. Just because LeBron already has those 40,000 some odd points, they're already number one in scoring. Bronny ain't even been on the court yet.
So you have that you have the first father and son playing together, which to me, looking from outside, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. As a
Hmm.
father, being able to play with being able to play with your son and everything else. I mean, I could see that. That'd be pretty cool. And the thing is, now I know the MLB has done it a few times. I mean, because baseball, you don't have all the toll on your body like basketball and football. So
Right,
you don't have all that toll, so it's easier. It's been done more than um, than you see it in basketball or football.
right. Wasn't I don't know if this from childhood. I don't know. I thought I heard it, but didn't King Griffey Senior and King Griffey Junior
Yep,
play?
yep. In baseball, you have Barry Bonds and you have Bobby Bonds. Them two played together on the same roster. You had the Griffeys, Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. Um, and actually, one of the games you had Senior in like left field, Junior I think was in center. Junior come and snuck in front of his dad to take a catch away from him. So, and then you have Felipe Alou and Moises Alou. They played together. Valimir Guerrero and Valimir Guerrero Jr. And then you had Ray Boone and Bob Boone. You had Mel Stottlemyre and Todd, Jose Cruz and Jose Cruz Jr., um, Russ Bell and Bobby Bell, Sandy Alomar and Roberto Alomar. I remember those two playing. You had Dizzy Trout and Steve Trout, and Cecil Fielder and Cecil Fielder, which uh, now Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder, they didn't play together. Them they got them up here as far as the father son duo. So it's happened a few times um, where they've played together at the same time in baseball, but you don't see it so much in the NBA, and I doubt the NFL's had anybody do
Oh, I doubt
it.
it.
So I mean, but
Well, the only one that would have probably came close is Brett Favre, because he stayed in there forever. David Craig, and maybe Aaron Rodgers.
man, but I don't think you'll ever see that in the NFL or hockey because those two hockey's a
Oh yeah, hockey is.
hockey's a rougher sport than football. Well, what football's turned out to be now. But getting back to the NBA with the father son duo, you know, I'd say that the Lakers done that. They brought that there. They know it's going to bring ratings up. It's going to bring money in.
Hmm.
Um, More people's going to watch it just to see, even if you're rooting for Brony or not, people's going to watch it to see if he fails or see if he succeeds.
Yeah,
So
it's a win-win.
it
You
is.
watch it because you hate him and want to see him fail. You watch it because you love him and you want to see him succeed. But my thing is, the bad part is this is just a money grab. It was just about money. They don't care about the season because that, as far as trying to win a championship, that ain't gonna do it.
Well, the thing that came out today, though, this may help him, is LeBron is considering to take a pay cut. So maybe they can get a player they needed added to the roster. So I guess LeBron James is saying, well, you scratch my back, I'm going to scratch yours now. So I'll take a pay cut. Let's get another player in here and try to win.
Right? If he's doing that for that, that would be noble. But here's my thing. The only the reason I think he's taking a pay cut is so his son can get a good contract.
Oh, and speaking of which, did you know this? When I was trying to find Brony's stats today,
Hmm.
he had a net worth of guess how much? Now, this is a 19-year-old kid,
It's already over a million something, about 2 million.
5 million.
Whoa.
So uh, that's just, I guess, coming off his daddy's name alone.
Hmm.
But we'll see how it pans out for him. See how he does. To me, I think he's got a couple years before he even gets where he needs to be, and
Yeah.
that's going to put his dad, LeBron James, over 40. So we'll see what happens. And the thing is, for the Lakers to contend for a title coming out of the West, that's going to be tough.
It
I mean,
is.
the West is loaded. Uh, when you've got Minnesota, you've got Denver, you've got Dallas, you got OKC.
You're gonna have Golden State because I think Paul George is expected to sign a 213 million contract. I want to say it was with Golden State. I can't remember the team.
Well, was it? Okay, I was getting ready to mention him opting out of
Yep.
the deal with the Clippers.
Hmm.
So if he goes from the Clippers to the Warriors, then that just makes it even tougher in that West. So
Right. And Fox is talking about leaving the Kings.
so I mean, and what you're seeing now, it's all about the money, building these teams, trying to win a championship and everything else. And
Hmm.
you think about Dallas. Dallas was right there. Dallas could, and I think if Luka wasn't hurt, maybe they could have made a better run in the finals. But nobody was expecting Dallas to get there. Now, me and you talked about it, and just like you said in one of our episodes, don't count Luka out,
Hmm.
and he made the run
He
to the
did.
finals. But
If Dallas gets one more player, because you got Kyrie, and then Kyrie, he just like,
maybe they can get Fox,
yeah.
or somebody can light the outside up. But now let's while we're still in the NBA, your Knicks loaded up. Your Knicks loaded up this past week in the draft, and then they got Bridges. They added two that roster. I think the Knicks could be contending with Boston next year.
They're thinking about that. That's the way they're hyping it up in the media. It's like what's his name Anobly. He opted out of his $19 million contract, and I was like, oh man, they better keep John Randall because he's fitting to go. And then they turn around, they say he's about to sign $170 million contract with the Knicks. And I'm like, oh well, maybe they can let John Randall go. It's just I don't know if to me, I think John Randall had his tenure there. He just keeps getting hurt. He's accident prone, and I don't think he can carry him. And Jalen Brunson, he came in and he showed that hey, this is my team. Doesn't help that when they talk about the nepotism thing because I don't know if you know that, but Jalen Brunson's dad is on the coaching staff of the Knicks.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's why he didn't stay at Dallas. Dallas drafted him, and when his 4 years is up, he just went in free agency and went straight to New York because his dad is Rick Brunson.
Okay,
You, and you know what? You want to hear some more something hilarious?
what's
Rick
that?
Brunson, when he played in the NBA, guess where he played at?
New York?
No, the Dallas Mavericks.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But I think the injuries is what kept New York from doing what they needed to do, and but we'll see when this winter comes or towards the end of the fall when the season kicks off. But they got the summer league for the rookies and stuff,
Yeah,
and I usually don't watch it. But I may see how Bronny James does.
I wonder is he even going to play? He needs to play in that.
He's
But here's my thing. Remember, he had the cardiac arrest thing and everything, which I hate that for him. It's sad, but I mean, like, you look at college ball and you look at the NBA season, it is way longer than college.
But right now, I think he's got to play because I don't think what the talk was right now. He may be on the roster, but I don't know if he's going to see any playing time as of right now. So they're going to have to get him on the court this summer, um, just so he can. Because I'm going to tell you what little bit I've seen of him in college, he ain't going to cut it.
Yeah,
So he's got to get on that court this summer, uh, and play to be able to, because he's got to up his game. I mean, I don't see him unless he changes and improves. I don't see him making it in the NBA.
right.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, I know a lot of the ESPN announcers were saying, well, it's because of the cardiac arrest, this and that, but yeah, I understand that. But I mean, towards the end of the season, you should start picking stuff up.
Right, but even so, if it is because of the cardiac arrest, why are they blowing it off just as, oh, it's just because it's cardiac arrest? That means he has a health problem. I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's showing that he can't play this game. It's either A, the cardiac arrest is showing he can't play this game, or B, because his stats sure look like he can't play this game.
Well, we'll find out this. But I say he'll be playing this summer league. He's got to. I don't think he has really a choice. Um, but that way he can get in a rhythm, some type of rhythm, and get some type of flow of the game. So they, especially with no, so the Lakers know what they can do with him, where they put him at.
Yep.
But he's going to get some playing time because of his dad.
Yeah, he'll get in there.
But you mentioned we'll move right along with unless you got anything else with the NBA.
Not with the NBA, but while we at it, let's go ahead and get our little buy me a coffee in there for anybody that wants to help the channel grow and help sponsor this channel. You have it to where you can buy us a coffee.
All right, hey, you mentioned just a minute ago before we got on the women's NBA. They only got 2 games on today.
Yeah.
One's come final. The Aces beat the Mystics 88-77. And right now, at the end of the first quarter, the Wings are only trailing the Storm by 3 points. It's 25-22 right now. And the Wings are 4-13-1, and the Storm are 11-6-1.
Okay.
So the Wings here in the first quarter is giving Storm a little game, but we'll see what happens there. And you was mentioning talking about with the women's NBA in the All Star tracker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to bring that up. If last I seen, which I'm not seeing nothing here. On the East, I know they had Caitlin on there leading with someone else, or was leading in votes.
Caitlin's leading in the East as well as Angel Reese is leading in the East.
Okay.
Here's my thing. Caitlin's already said, like I said, we're doing it with the Magic and Bird. I'm like, Magic and Bird always had some nice things to say about and compliment each game. Caitlin said, I've never played with her before. I think it'll be fun. Now, let's see what Reese says, because I haven't heard anything about on Reese's end. And here's the thing. All these, when they put that team together, most of them people on the team that'll be on Caitlin, these are the people that have been fouling her and talking shit about her. How
Yeah,
are they going to act?
that's gonna be fun to see. When is that game? All Star game.
I don't know. I need to look that up. And I didn't check that out
Let's
either.
see.
I was just checking to see who was leading, and I was like, they better not do like the Olympics. They better put Caitlin on that team.
Here's the thing too. All this drama that's happening in the women's NBA is bringing attention. It's bringing viewers,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's watching to see that. see what's going to happen next. And I'm trying to see when they should have their when the All Star is coming up with the women's NBA. This one stops here at July 5th. But I ain't seen nothing right here yet. Unless, do you know when it? Have you seen anything on it?
No, I'm looking now.
It should be coming up not too shortly. And then talking about All Stars, and it's like this summer's going by pretty quick. We just really got into summer, but here in 2 weeks, the MLB and baseball, they'll be having their All Star break, which is the midway point um, of baseball, and it's hard to believe we're there already. Um,
I got it. And you know how I had to get it? I went online on Google and saying I was trying to buy a ticket. And it told me the day of the game was on July 20th. But I can get it's in Phoenix, Arizona, and I can get a ticket for $107.
Phoenix, Arizona. We'll go ahead and load up and head that way. But well, that's as far as them two games. That's it right now. And let's check the standings since the last time we've been on with the women's NBA. You still got uh, you still got Liberty. They're running it pretty. They're 15-3. Connecticut's 14-4. Minnesota's 13-4. Seattle 11-6. Las Vegas Aces, who are playing right now or just played, is 10-6. Phoenix is 9-8. Atlanta 7-9. Chicago Sky is 6-10. And Indiana sitting at that 9 spot at 7-12. And then you got the Wings, Sparks, and Mystics. All have only got 4 wins.
Yep.
So, Indiana and Caitlin are still sitting there on them 7 wins.
Yeah, and they're still in that ninth spot. They're still behind the Chicago Sky.
And here's the thing. You got Atlanta Dream with 7 wins. They're 7-9. But they got a couple less games than what the Fever has played.
Mm-hmm.
So once they start getting them in there, that could swing and change stuff as far as the standings go. And like I said, with baseball and MLB, we got coming up in 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. It's July 16th, I think it is, the All Star game, which is a
Right.
Tuesday. That Monday, the 15th, you'll have the Home Run Derby. So then everything will swing to the second half of the season. As of right now, the games that are in for today already, the Braves beat the Pirates 2-1. Right now, in the end of the sixth, going in the seventh, you got the Dodgers 6, the Giants 6. They're tied up. Bottom of seventh in Baltimore, the Orioles 6, Rangers 4. Right now at 10 o'clock tonight, you got the Detroit Tigers and the Anaheim Angels playing. And you got the Twins and Mariners at 10. That's the last 2 games of the night. And I watched a couple innings of this one right here. The Rockies and the White Sox. When I was watching it, the Rockies went up 3-0. It was like into the 4th or 5th inning, but the White
Mm-hmm.
Sox end up winning 11-3.
Oh, dang.
So they came and they put a hurting on the Rockies.
That's one of those. Look, we're gonna spot you 3.
Yeah, we're coming back. They're coming back to get you. The Reds beat the Cardinals 9-4. And look at this. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees
Ooh.
9-3.
Oh.
The Marlins beat the Phillies 3-2. The Cubs beat the Brewers 5-3. Guardians over the Royals 7-2. Houston Astros 9. The Mets 6. The Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Athletics 3-0. Padres 11. Red Sox 1. And the Nationals 8. And the Rays 1.
Okay.
Um,
Yankees and they lost, and you said Phillies lost, but they
Phillies
was
lost.
both was leading the divisions.
Yeah, and both of them lost to losing teams.
Yeah,
Oh, you ready for this?
but the Yankees lost bad. What you call it? Only lost by 1 point. The Phillies only lost by 1 point.
Well, that game, that Yankees loss hurt them because Baltimore was leading that division by a half a game now.
Oh,
Baltimore's 52-30, and the Yankees are 53-32. So that loss hurt the Yankees as
cost
far
them.
as no, but still half a season left.
Hmm.
And then in the Central, the Guardians are still 7.5 up on the Twins. The Mariners are 5 games up on Houston in the West. The Phillies are still 7 games up on the Braves. And the Brewers are 6.5 games up on the Cardinals. And Dodgers are still up 7 games up on San Diego. And Dodgers need to watch because if San Diego gets on a hot streak, they could pull that with close towards the end of the year or summer.
Right.
But that's what we got right there in baseball as of right now. Um, and the summer's coming by. Like I said, we're just really getting into summer because summer don't end to the end of September is when summer goes out. But it's a halfway point coming up in baseball, and then the end of July, halfway point for the women's NBA. And that's always going to roll into our favorite time of the year, when football season comes.
Hmm.
And we'll see what's going on with everything because I got game schedule coming up with some football games, and hopefully I can get you in the blue and gold when we go up to Morgantown.
I'm looking forward to it.
Um, but right now, before we there's not a whole lot going on with the sports right now. Before we get into the NFL, is there anything you want to mention before we get into that? You said you've been looking up some soccer, ain't you?
Yeah, I did go through, and like I said, this is season one for us, so this is a new thing for us. Uh, Major League Soccer was something I thought was probably start this summer, but we started this show actually in April. Lo and behold, Major League Soccer actually started. They season started in February, so it started before we even knew it was even going on, and we learned about it. But I'm just going to go through some scores, some standings um, from the Eastern Coast and the West Coast, and I don't know how Google does this, but I just hit on the more scores and it told me how it is. But the cutoff was it gave me the top five in the East and the top five in the West. So I'm wondering if that indication that if it's playoffs time, the number one seeds get a bye and just only got five teams from each side. I don't know.
I'm not for sure either on how that works. Let's see if I can't bring it up right here. What it does.
All right, while you looking at that, I'm gonna go over what the standings look like. Because you got in the East, the Eastern Conference, you got leading the division. You got Inter Miami. I guess it's International Miami. It just says Inter Miami, which they have a 21 matches played, and their record is 13-5. We got Cincinnati coming in next. They played 20 matches with 12-4. The New York Red, I don't know what it is, red and dot dot dot, so it's red something. Their 21 matches played at 9-8. Columbus comes in fourth with 18 matches played at 9-6. And New York. That's maybe why they have New York Red, because they got two. Because they got New York City, and then their emblem is blue. They got 20 matches played, and get this, I don't know why they're not leading. They're 10-2.
They're 10-2. They probably got some ties,
Oh
maybe.
no! I'm saying I have screwed this all up.
Yes, you have. I see.
I don't know what that D stands for. I was reading that as D, but the L, they have wins. Uh, I guess the D is for did not play, and then the
Or
third
draws.
line,
Probably draws. They probably ties, ain't they?
they might be draws because the
Yeah, it's a
going
draws, I
back
think.
to Miami, they're 13-5-3. Well, if you add that up, there it would be draw, because adding that up, that would be 21 games.
So
Because New York got 8 losses, 2 draws, and 10 wins. That's why they're in at 5.
that's why we need to get us a soccer guy on here. He can
Yeah, we do. Because
help us out.
I have no idea. Because LA, remember I was telling you before we got online, LA got 2 teams. They got the LA Galaxy and the LAFC, whatever that is. And in fact, that abbreviation may not even be Los Angeles.
I'm trying to bring this up and see because
But
I
they're
don't know. Well, I was trying to see how long their season is.
right. I know it started in February.
Started in February. Um, that didn't come up too well there.
But you know what? Now looking at the teams, but
They got
this
a
is,
lot of teams, the East
yeah,
and the West.
they got 28 altogether. They got 14 on each side, but we already we found our soccer teams. Just that right now they're not doing too good. In the West, last but least, number 14 is San Jose.
Oh man,
They've got 19 matches played. They got 3 wins, 2 draws, and 14 losses.
come on, San Jose, you got to start pulling this together.
Looks like they only scored 11 points for the season.
But we'll get to know this a little more. Um, I don't know anybody where we work with. We could talk to with the soccer to get us enlighten a little bit on the season and everything else. But we will do better on doing that with the soccer because soccer is starting to be a big sport in this country now.
It sure is, because I did look this up. Major League Soccer started playing in the United States, because it was never big time. They always do the
Olympics and
Olympics and FIFA. I guess it's FIFA is what they pronounce it,
yeah,
but that's mostly is European. But then
yeah,
they started a league over here. The MLS league started in 1997, so they're just about as old as WNBA. So they're both on the same, I guess, going
and
on about 27 years or so.
it's growing even within our community here where we live here in West Virginia. And Beckley, the YMCA has a program here, which our youngest daughter plays in, and it is growing, and they've got a good program over there. And I've helped coached a couple years, and they had like the 8U, 6U. They had like 17 teams for
Okay.
6 and under, and they were begging for coaches because and every year they've got more kids has come out, so they need more coaches and stuff. So it is a growing even all the way in our community here. And I'll tell you that I think I told my wife not too long ago, if we had when I was growing up here in Beckley, if we had the soccer program that they got now, I probably would have played.
Right.
Yeah, but it wasn't as big. as it is. They had a soccer team, but the program it wasn't as big as it's going on like it is now. And there's camps all through the summer and everything else. So it's growing. Um,
I wonder if Major League Soccer has anything to do with that. Is soccer growing in the area? Maybe.
it's growing. And the thing is, I'm gonna make a prediction. If the NFL keeps going the way it's going, soccer is probably going to take over before too long.
Oh yeah,
I mean, because now, I mean, it's getting to where the NFL is going to be two hand touch, and for our flag football, one of the two, you can't hit them hardly anymore. Um, it's going to do one of two things. It's going to take viewers to the hockey, watching more hockey, or watching soccer.
well, honestly, to me, the reason why they're putting it on injuries, they don't want people doing the drop tackle, talking about too many injuries. My honest opinion is they want to see runners score more. If you can't catch them, if you can't tackle them, they're going to score. It's going to run up the score. And what actually brings people to the game is to see okay, Baltimore, they now got Derrick Henry, and they can't do a drop tackle on him. He is going to run like crazy all over these people.
Yeah, he is, and you can't hardly tackle him as it is now. The dude's a beast. He's strong. Kind
Exactly.
kind of reminds me of Marshawn Lynch when he was running with Seattle.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, if it keeps the NFL keeps going the way they're going, people always watch the football because of the hits and the tackles, a rough sport, and just like you mentioned in the last episode, hockey is, and it's a rough sport.
It is.
Um, and so eventually, we may see that soccer take over in this country. Which I said that a couple of years ago. I said before too long, I said soccer may be one of your top sports. I mean,
Right. And like
but
I said, I've never watched hockey, but when we started doing this show, so then I started watching hockey and I watched the Stanley Cup. And some of those games that I watched, it was fun. What I mean, it's like goodness, especially the fights. And I was like, I can't believe these are actually going on. The refs were trying to pull these guys off of the goalie, and they were throwing the refs, and nobody got ejected.
I tell you, I mean, I was growing up. I mean, I was athletic. I mean, I could play about any sport, but watching the NHL hockey. We don't have nothing around here for hockey where we're at. Um, I don't know how the goalies see the puck. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how in the world they keep up with the puck, and everything else. So my hats off to the goalies there because I mean they can keep up. I mean, be able to see it. I guess if you're on the ice, to be able, it's different. You can watch it better. But as
maybe
from
so.
watching it from TV, it's like, how in the world are they being able to keep up with the puck?
Exactly. I was like, watching it on TV, it was just like, and say I would see him hit the puck, and you see the goalie drop, and I was like, I don't know if it actually went in the net or if he actually blocked it. The way I found out that it went in the net, you gotta see when they say goal and have the goal in the back. That's about when I seen it go in the net. Because I would see the goalie drop to block it, but I don't know. My eyes ain't that great anyway, so
No, yeah, I watched. Like I said, I watched that game 7 of the Stanley Cup. It was good. It was fun. And like you mentioned, since we're doing this podcast, I'll be watching a little more different other sports than I used to,
exactly.
just so we can talk about it and everything else on this podcast. So I'll get more involved in soccer some, especially we got the Olympics coming up, and watching different sports to root on the U.S.
Yes.
Hopefully, they can pull off some gold medals, wins, and stuff like that. And but it's just fun watching these. Once you get watching some of these other sports and everything else, but we touched on a little bit of NFL, and there's a little bit going through and on in NFL. Not a whole lot right now. I guess you could say the biggest story still trending right now is Brandon Ayuk, the receiver for 49ers. Where's he going to go? There's still talks of trading, but he's wanting to stay in San Francisco.
Right.
Um, but I guess that's some of your biggest stuff right now. Um,
I'm sure San Francisco would like to keep him, but after they got caught doing that creative accounting, they probably have to let him go. They probably can't keep him.
and then I just see this right here, and I don't know how come it didn't pop up to my phone since I'm a Chiefs fan and everything else. Um, there's a it's talking about the governor of Missouri is in the aid of getting a plan together for the Chiefs Stadium. So the Chiefs and the Royals, um, so they don't go across to the Kansas line. So
You know what? I'm betting, the way the bidding and all this stuff is going, they might, as a settlement, like the Chiefs may stay in Missouri and the Royals go over to Kansas.
but what
They-
this is saying right here is that they would help them with up to 70% of the cost. But I don't know how it's all going to work. And here's my thing: it's like they took shots at them, some of the lawmakers. There was one that said, "Well, we don't have to negotiate nothing until 2031."
Mhm. Yeah,
That's not
keep
right.
thinking that. Keep thinking
Yeah,
that.
you can't wait to the last second. And but then you had another one. I mean, it was just a mess. They wasn't thinking. And but this will be a talk for the next couple of years and everything else.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I just had seen this pop up. This is the first time I seen this today.
Yeah, they just realized the thought of losing 858 what was it? 850 some million
It
a
was almost
year.
800 million a year in revenue from the Royals and the Chiefs.
Yeah,
So,
that made them think real quick. Like, oh gosh, we're gonna lose 800, and then here, that's what it is now. Imagine what that number's gonna be in 2030.
and I've heard people social media complaining. Well, um, taxpayers' dollars shouldn't be going to help fund any stadium or anything when it comes to sports. But well, the thing is with the Chiefs, that had already been in effect for 40 years.
Hmm.
That tax had already been in effect, and look what it brought into. All right, like we've mentioned before in one of the episodes, they leave Kansas City, Missouri. There goes that revenue. Now think all the people too. It's coming in to watch them games with the restaurants. What the restaurants are going to lose.
Right,
It,
but see, they're looking at it totally wrong. How many people that are actually employed in that stadium?
that's exactly both of those stadiums,
Yeah.
and both of those stadiums are old. I mean, both of them need a little bit of help and everything else. But it's we'll see what goes on with it. That'll be like I said. I figure that'll be in talks for the next couple years anyway. But I figure, like you said, the state of Kansas is looking to build them stadiums anyway. So they're hoping to get expansion teams for the MLB and for NFL, but we'll see if that happens.
Yep.
But and I don't see really much more that's going on right now when it comes to news in the NFL. But there's still more. I see more people, or not people, but in the headlines in the news about players holding out in the spring camp and everything else, and complaining and stuff. But the spring camp, I would I wouldn't take no big thought in spring camp, but once it comes to August, whenever they report or July and August, yeah, if they're
Hmm.
not there, then yes, then you can start worrying, saying, "Hey, what's going on?"
Right. Now, I've been getting my sporting news from Instagram, so I don't know how well I can trust this. But this was funny. All right, on the Cowboys, Micah Parsons has a podcast, and he invited free safety Malik Hooker onto the podcast, and they were talking about run support, and then somewhere. Uh, Malik Hooker was asking him a question. He says, "It seems like you're more concerned about how many people are listening to your podcast versus helping out on run support." And Michael Parsons says, "Well, I wish you would have said that to me in person versus on the podcast."
That's funny. In talking about the NFL and looking at everything, all the talks and everything, I watched a little bit there on ESPN and everything else, and there is nobody giving the Chiefs a second thought of going back to the Super Bowl. Nobody. I'm gonna say there's no way that they'll be able to do it. And the thing is too, they're not. Chiefs defense last year was one of their better defenses they had
Right.
in the previous years. Now this year, yeah, they lost to Reed, the corner Reed. They lost him, but they added Dana to that front, along with we got Jones back,
Hmm.
um, and they're not giving that defense much credit either. And they've done beefed up the front, so I don't know. I think I think they could be overlooking them this year.
Yeah, it's going like to me in the AFC conference. The only team to me that did anything that can probably knock off KC is Baltimore because they had Derrick Henry.
What about Houston?
Houston is just what you call it. Houston is just hype.
They
I
got
mean,
Diggs. They got Diggs.
yeah, but
They got Mixon. They got Mixon.
Diggs is well, they got Mixon. I'll give him credit on that one. But Diggs to me, I think he's on his way down. I
He
think
could
that
be. He could be.
some of the stuff that was going on in Buffalo is some of the things that's on him, and he's casting it out on everybody else. This is everybody else's fault versus him accepting responsibility. And as far as Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Jets and everybody talking about the Jets are going to be all this and that, I don't think so. I
I
don't
no,
think so.
I don't see the Jets contending in the in the AFC. Um, I think it's going to come. I think you'll see the Bengals back up there this year, along with the Ravens.
I
Um,
don't think well, they'll be in the playoffs. I'll give them that, but I don't think they can really do. To me, they already have too many questions going on as like with the team. I mean, Higgins didn't even want to play for him.
yeah.
He's mad because he got franchised. He wanted out. There's a couple of defensive linemen that wanted out. They were asking for trades. They didn't get the trades. So it's Hutchinson, and the other one. They begin with both of them asked for trades. And as far as I know, they didn't trade either one of them. So you got people on your team that don't even want to play for you. So I don't think they're going anywhere. Uh, Josh Allen, I think, is going to be the Achilles heel for Buffalo. Yeah, he could gun it. Yeah, but you look at his numbers, he's pretty much like Trevor Lawrence. They have a lot of picks.
Well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to put a lot on Josh Allen and his wheels, like Ravens did on Lamar last year or the year before last.
Hmm.
And Josh Allen's going to be running the ball a lot because I mean they don't have no big key playmakers and everything.
No.
And see and going back to the Chiefs with the Chiefs offense, they're forgetting about that. They added another tight end from TCU who's pretty good.
Hmm.
Plus brought the tight end from Cincinnati,
Yep.
Arvin. So even which I'm not counting on Rice playing all year. So all right, you've got Hollywood Brown, you've got Xavier Worthy.
Exactly.
So, and then you got two tight ends plus your running backs. So,
Yeah, and they kept Hardman. So
yeah, they signed Harbin back. So, hey, and you mentioned that 53-man roster. Supposedly, this was coming out of Kansas City for the mini camp, but this ain't the final. But they didn't have drop hands. Who was that?
Kadarius Tony.
Kadarius Tony on that roster. Which, like I told you, that's early. Um, but you could, like you said, if something happens that Rice don't get to play, they could throw him back on there. Which,
Yep.
I mean, you still got Sky Moore. You still got him. I mean, you still got
Mhm.
receivers. So,
But actually, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they want to convert Sky Moore or not. Sky Moore really isn't a receiver. He's a running back.
well,
But
I
they
mean,
use him at wide receiver.
and then we ain't mentioned, which we don't know how he's going to do, that rugby football player that they
Yeah,
got.
I don't think he'll make the team.
Well, he's listed as a running back. So,
Oh, well, yeah, he can make the team that way. I thought he was going to put him in as a tight end. As a tight end, I
no,
don't see him making the team.
no, they got him listed as a running back. Is what he is listed as right now.
That's probably why Skyler is working out with the wide receivers because he's originally a running back, but he probably won't make it as a running back. But if he wants to stay on the team, he got to work out them wide outs.
So we'll see what happens with that. You got anything else with the NFL before we're getting close to our hour?
No, really, I don't. Like I said, as far as the AFC and them not making it, the only surprise teams I can see that could probably upset maybe, and this is a real thin maybe, Miami might do something. I know they added Odell Beckham, which to me, Odell Beckham is done, but they're still going to have to cover him like he's that threat he's always been.
Miami's
So
got speed. That offense has got speed with their back.
exactly,
Trick
exactly.
Hill, Tua can take off if he can not get a concussion. So they got speed. Um,
They're
just
running back a chain or I forget how I don't know how they pronounce it, but
Aiken, is it
eh,
Aiken?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
But he runs pretty. He runs a pretty good 40 also.
yeah. So they
So
got
they got some speed. So you can't double up on whoever you taking a risk. If you're doubling up on OBJ, that means you got one on one on Tyreek.
that's
And if
it.
you go on one with Waddle, Tyreek, and OBJ, one of them's gonna burn you.
That's it. And that's what with that speed. It's like I think we mentioned it when we first started these podcasts. I've got some family that are Dolphin fans, and when I found out what the weather was going to be in Kansas City during that playoff game, I said, "Y'all done."
Yep,
I was like, "Oh no, we're fast." I said, "No, that cold weather don't do good on the muscles. It don't matter if you have all that speed." I said, "When that cold weather hits negative 15, 20 below," I said that it don't matter how fast you are, the muscles start to cramp up and start to tighten up."
Mhm.
But we're getting down to this last little bit, but hopefully it's coming Tuesday. I'll mention this before we get off. We're supposed to have a guest on here if everything goes planned. Uh, I guess you'll get it posted. We're going to record it and then post it.
Yeah.
I guess you'll get it posted Tuesday, sometime Tuesday evening or something.
I don't know. I was gonna talk to you about that and talk to him about that to see how we're gonna record it on Tuesday. Do we want to start it about right when college football start, or do we want to post it early, a little bit before that? When do we? I don't know when we want to post it.
I guess we go ahead and post it now if you want.
Okay, we'll do it
That way,
now.
see we get our listeners up and ratings up a little bit, maybe.
Cool beans. That works for
Yeah,
me then.
and then see if we can't get some people start watching and stuff local. Hopefully it'll help out with our local listeners. We don't have too many local here, so
Nah.
hopefully this here will get our local people start listening to it. But we're going to have Judah Price, hopefully, if nothing changes, be meeting with us this coming week. He's a running back up at WVU with the Mountaineers, and I'm excited to get him on here, and we'll talk to him, and he can shed some light how it was playing high school football around here in Southern West Virginia, and now playing at the college level. He's a redshirt freshman, so still young talent, and I can't wait to get him on here and let him share his experience as far as high school and college.
That's gonna be fun.
But as we get ready to wrap up, Cool Beans, like we always do at the end of each an episode, if
Yep.
anybody out there, any veterans or anybody even serving as of right now in arms, if you have a thoughts of suicide or hurting yourself, always talk to a battle buddy or talk to someone, a friend or a family member, or you always call
988, the quick number.
the 988, and that is the suicide crisis hotline you can call. That's 988, and they'll get you in contact with somebody to get talked to. And also, you can go to your local VA medical center, and there's someone always there on staff, and they can get you the help you need to get somebody talking to you.
Yes.
So always don't be afraid to take that step, talk to somebody. It's if you need to talk to someone, go ahead and do that. So
Yeah. All righty. Well, that's our hour. See you. We're gonna do this again. I guess. Since we got Tuesday, we're gonna do that no Monday show.
no, no Monday. We'll do the recording Tuesday, and then you can post it when you can get it posted, and then we'll be back on the air next Saturday, I guess.
Next Saturday at 9 p.m.
Yep. We all have a good weekend. Thanks for listening. Like we always say, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
All righty.